Good morning, everyone. I welcome to all of you in this session, chapter 12, session 3, and page number 126, 27, and 20. 27 I have written 127. Only one heading from 126, page number 126. Today we will discuss some points: racial arrogance and racial discrimination of the British rulers. British rulers, racial arrogance means ghamandi, simply we can say. Feeling of superiority. British East India Company, officials of the British East India Company had feeling of superiority. According to them, that Indian were inferior. Our first line here given that all Indians, irrespective of their social, economical, political status, were considered to be inferior and uncivilized race. It means that British government adopted discriminative policies against this racial discrimination. Mahatma Gandhi started movement from South Africa, Satyagraha, popularly known as Satyagraha. So British government, according to British officials, Indian were inferior than Britishers, or simply we can say they were superior than Indian. Britishers were superior than India. These types of feeling, they had these types of feeling, and they looked down upon and treated with contempt and humiliated. Simply we can say there was no equality. Principle of equality. They denied the principle of equality, and for that we have discussed already that there were two types of road, two types of park, two types of club, one for European and one for Indian. Indian were not allowed to use their park, their hotel, their buses, even railways. One story you have read that Mahatma Gandhi, when he was going to, this incident was the South Africa, that he was discriminated. One registration card was also made by the British in South Africa. So there was racial discriminative policy, that black and white. Simply we can say racial discrimination, discriminations on the basis of race, black and white. But we come to our point. So our point, that Indians were not getting higher post, civil services post. Indians were not allowed to get the civil services post. Less chances of promotion. We have read in the revolt of that chapter, revolt of 1857, that less chances of promotion. Indians were not denied to give the higher post. Indians were not appointed as a ICS. Simply we can say nowadays known as Indian Administrative Service. That time ICS, civil services. So that imperial civil services. ICS, imperial civil services, nowadays Indian administrative services. So Indians were not allowed to get the higher post, even in the field of military or civil or judicial, any post they were not getting. So discriminatory policies adopted by the British regarding the social, political, economical level, and it was opposed by the Indian. See, 2 points here given, that Indians were debarred. Debarred means prohibited from using park, club, hospital, library, railway, which was meant for the Europeans, as I told, which was meant for the European. So Indians were not given higher post. Indians were not allowed to use whatever made for the Europeans, just this line, that Indians were that divided from bar, club, hotel, hospitals, railway coaches, reserved for the British. So Indians were not allowed to enter in their club, hotel, bar. So, and in a country was that in India was the country of India. It means they were discriminated on the basis of race. Second, all the important positions. Second point, all the important positions in the administrative were reserved for the British. Just I told that Indians were not getting higher post, civil services post, in the field of judiciary. They were not getting the higher post in the field of civil, judiciary or military. These two, racial discrimination. This is the racial discrimination. Discrimination on the basis of race, like black and white. This is the racial discrimination. Our second topic, that repressive policies of Lord Lytton. After Lord Ripon, Lytton came in India as a viceroy of India. After Lord Ripon, Lord Lytton came in India and he adopted many discriminative policies, which were the factors for the responsible of the factor for the rise of nationalism, responsible for the rise of nationalism. First action taken by Lord Lytton, 127 page. Second heading, the Vernacular Press Act. Vernacular Press Act was made by the British 1878 Vernacular Press Act. This is the seven. Vernacular Press Act. According to this act, vernacular, local languages, newspaper, just we have discussed previous session. So according to this act, whatever given in the book, this is a difficult language. See that what given act called liberty of the national Indian press, it deprive the people of their basic right to freedom of speech and expression. Only this one. But what was the Vernacular Press Act? According to this act, easy language, if any local newspaper criticize the wrong policies of the British government or policies of the British government, what is the wrong and right another matter, but if any local newspaper criticize the policies of the British government, their license was cancelled. License nowadays also, if anybody opening the press, starting the newspaper, so they have to take the license from the government. So according to Vernacular Press Act, if any Indian newspaper criticize policies of the British government, their license could be cancelled. For example, Surendranath Banerjee, his newspaper Bengali was banned by the British East India Company according to Vernacular Press Act. Later on, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he was sent to jail when he criticized the policies of the British government in their newspaper Maratha and Kesari. We have discussed already. So this is the Vernacular Press Act, local language newspaper. If any local language newspaper or Indian newspaper criticize the wrong policies of the British government, their license was cancelled by the British government, or their newspaper was banned by the British East India Company or British government. Second heading, in the repressive policy of the Lord Lytton. Second heading, in this heading, the Arms Act. Arms Act, License Act was same. And what is this? Whatever given in the book, this is the difficult language. Arms Act. According to this act, Indians were not allowed to keep any types of weapons without license, but it was not applicable for the European. Once again, according to this act, Indians were not allowed to keep the arms, any weapon, without license. But European, they could keep the arms without license. European means Britishers, mainly Britishers. So this was the discrimination, the discriminative policies. This was the discriminative policies. And third heading, reduction in age for the ICS examination. See, 1853, and who was the father of ICS examination? Lord Cornwallis. For the knowledge I am telling you, Lord Cornwallis was the first person in our country who started the ICS. That time Imperial Civil Services, after independence of the country, Indian Civil Services, and later on it was amended by the Indian Parliament, and nowadays it has been become Indian Administrative Services, and minimum age nowadays 21 years. If any person 21 years completed 21 years, they can participate in the IS examination. And that time age was 21. British and examination was conducted by the British government in the Britain one, not in India. So lowering the age, reduction in age, it means from 21 to 19, and chances were also became less. What is the chances nowadays? IAS general category 4 times, OBC 7 times, and SC ST no foundation. They could take the part near about 33 years. That time from 21 to 19 made by the Lord Lytton, and it was very difficult for the Indian to go Britain at the age of 19 years and pass the examination. Against this also India started a movement, and this was also responsible for the rise of Indian nationalism. So this repressive policy of Lytton, just I told, vernacular press act. What was the vernacular press act? If any local languages newspaper criticized the policies of the British government, their license could be cancelled. Only one matter, cancelled, not given in the book, but I am telling that this is the fact. Second, Arms Act. Indians were not allowed to keep any weapons without license, but it was not applicable for the Europeans. And reduction in the age of ICS examination from 21 to 19. And why Indians were angry? Because Indians were angry because at the age of 19 years, it is very difficult to go to the Britain and pass the examination. So this was the repressive policies of Lord Lytton. One more policy, Ilbert will controversy here given. I think you will study 10th class. All these topics you will study in the 10th class, not 9th class. 2 mark question in time came this question that Ilbert will controversy. Ilbert, C.P. Ilbert, his name was C.P. Ilbert. C.P. Ilbert, and he was the member of Viceroy Executive Council, and Lord Ripon, before the Lytton, Lord Ripon was the Viceroy of India. So he given, see that when you will read the book, this is very difficult to understand for you. When you will read this paragraph, very difficult for you. I am telling, very easy language. Equal power, Ilbert Bill. C.P. Ilbert keep the bill on the table of British Parliament, and it was passed by the British Parliament, and rule was made by the Lord Ripon. According to this, Indian judges were allowed to hear the cases regarding the Europeans. See, before this bill, Indian judges were not allowed to hear any cases regarding the European. For example, suppose two persons were fighting, one Indian and second European or second Britisher. So that cases was going to in hand of British judges, European judges. Indian judges were not allowed to hear any cases regarding the European, and according to this Ilbert bill, Indian judges were got equal right. They had also got right to hear the cases regarding the European. And that what here given? which allow Indian judges try Europeans accused of crime. Same thing, accused of crime. So that this matter, and one line, equal status given to the Indian judges and European judges. This was opposed by the Britisher because they did not like equality, equal status. It was opposed by Britisher in the British Parliament. This was not passed, not became the act. So this incident blew the lid of racial arrogance of the European, racial feeling of superiority. In simple language, they had proud, simply we can say. This was the racial arrogance of the Europeans. This bill was not passed. Any bill passed by Parliament and then it can become the act. So this bill did not become the act because of the oppose of European opposed this bill. So this was the Ilbert bill controversy. It was controversy between Indian and European owned, and where this bill was withdrawn by the Lord Ripper. Once again, equal status given to the European judges and Indian judges. One line. And why it was not passed? Due to oppose of European. This bill was not passed. Later on, that due to this incident, 1883 AD, Surendranath Banerjee founded the Indian National Conference, and later after 2 years, Indian National Congress was founded by Allen Actavian. Now our last topic of this chapter, the Indian National Congress. The Indian National Congress, 28 December 1885, it was founded by Allen Actavian, who popularly known as A.O. Hume. Whatever given in the book, that what was the incident I am telling, given here that Buddhist language is a very difficult language. What was the incident? Allen actually A.O. Hume, he was the retired civil services officer. British wanted, and Lord Dufferin was the Viceroy of India this time. British wanted to escape, did not want to any types of revolt, like revolt of 1857. British wanted to know the view of Indian. For that purpose, A.O. Hume written the letter. He wrote letter to the graduates of Calcutta University and called meeting. He wrote letter to the many students of graduates of the Calcutta University and called meeting. Surendranath Banerjee was not present, but W.C. Banerjee, Bhumesh Chandra Banerjee was present there, and he became the first president of Indian National Congress. Near about 72 delegates here given. Delegates means representative joined the meeting of Indian National Congress. And one line here given that in Indian history emerged soon enough, and whom or no whom, it means that only A.O. Hume was responsible for the foundation of Indian National Congress. It is true that all the members, 72 members, they were, Dufferin was also present, some British officials were present in that meeting, and it was held at Bombay, nowadays Mumbai, and Indian National Congress was founded 28 December given, out of December. So 28 December 1885. It was founded by A.O. Hume. First meeting was held at Bombay, nowadays Mumbai, and president was W.C. Banerjee, Bhumesh Chandra Banerjee, founder name Allen Actavian Hume or A.O. Hume. 72 representatives participated in this meeting, except of S.N. Banerjee or Surendranath Banerjee. Main aim and objective of the Indian National Congress see friendly relations among the nationalist worker in different parts of the country. See, nationalist worker, those who wanted to work for the nation, for the welfare of nation, nationalist worker. So there should be friendly relation among the peoples of the country. Simply thing, to develop and strengthen feelings of national unity throughout the country. So they wanted unity among the peoples of the country, national unity. Popular demand, to formulate the popular demand and place them before the government. Third aim of the Indian National Congress, to keep the popular demand in front of the British government, in front of the British East India Company or British Parliament. Lokpriya, that for the welfare of people, popular means. Fourth point, to train and organize public opinion, to take the opinion of the public, लोगों की राय लेना. This was the fourth point, to train and organize public opinion in the country. These were the four main objective, aim and objective of the Indian National Congress. It was the first political organization at all India level. It was the first political organization of our country at all India level, which was founded by the Britishers with the support of some graduates of Calcutta University or different parts of our country. So in this way, first session of Congress was held at Mumbai, second session of Indian National Congress at Calcutta, and Congress showed the loyalty. They showed loyalty to the British Crown, declaring that their desire was greater involvement and participation in the Indian government. This soft conciliatory attitude of the Congress in 44 years transformed a strident, emphatic demand for the poor. See that this is the first thing. Congress was founded 1885. Just I did 28 December 1885. 1907 in Surat session of Indian National Congress. Every year there is a session. There was session and now it is also there is a session. Session means meeting, simply meeting. So Surat session of the Indian National Congress, Congress was divided, split of Congress two parts, moderate and assertive. You will study later in the 10th class. But here 44 years after foundation, that after 28 December 1885, 1929, Congress passed the resolution for Purna Swaraj has given complete freedom. So after 44 years, the aim and objective of Congress became complete freedom of the country. But that here, given here, that whatever the paragraph given, that first session, second session, and when that only this aim, four aims, just we have discussed. But important is this: after foundation of Indian National Congress, after 44 years, the aim was changed and became Congress passed resolution for Purna Swaraj, complete independence of the country. In this way, this chapter has been completed. Question and answer output I have published already. Only one chapter left for the third semester, the Union Judiciary. Next session we will discuss the Union Judiciary. Thank you so much.